Podcast.
Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Throw me a topic. Let's speak on this. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't meme on this. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Let's speak on it. Speak on it. You thought we were done? Throw me a topic. Let's speak on it. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't mean on this. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Throw me a topic. Let's speak on it. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't mean on this. Speak on it. Speak on it.
Soy.
Yo, it's another episode of Speak On It Podcast. Your boy Maestro in the house, and we are here with a very, very special guest. She appeared on the episode, but behind the scene before with the Chef Lou episode. So if you watch that episode, we got the lady in the house, Tamara, T or Tam. What's good? How you doing? How your week has been?
I'm doing good. My week has been great, and I can't complain. Hey, I'm always blessed to be here. And how's your weekend?
Man, my week has been splendid. You know, splendid. I feel like I should have a British accent when I say that. But it's been a good week. Somebody in the background tell me, nah, bro, you can't do it, right? I'm going to challenge her after the episode. You know, we going to have a British challenge off. All right, but man, my week's been good. And we got our boy Clutch in the house. Yes. I mean, and who's behind the cameras. We also got Ninja Mark, who's behind the camera. So we got a full squad here. But Gibbs, blessed, man. How you doing? How's your week, man?
Man, it's been actually peaceful. Like, it's been pretty peaceful. It's been some tough moments, but I'm like, stressed. You ain't got time here. You ain't got no room here. So, so it's all about just get things done as much as I can and keep it moving.
Stress, you ain't got no room here, man. This man speaking against the stress.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Stress is killing people out here.
It is, especially with COVID, bro. Yeah. We're still in the midst of it. But man, let's get to our special guest, and start to kind of like, get y'all to get to know her a little bit. So we'll start from some of the things she got involved in as far as different workplaces she's worked in. And one that caught my attention when I heard about it, is working corrections. I don't know nothing about that. But, she's going to try to give us a little something about it that she can, in case some of you guys are out here maybe looking to work in that field, or maybe wanting to know, how you maybe wanted to get started. So we want to know, what kind of like got you to start in that field? What inspired you basically to go into that field of corrections, or, as far as law enforcement, things like that. So give us the spiel, Miss Tamara.
Well, basically, starting in corrections, I would say it has to do with my family.
Oh, okay.
Because dealing with my family is a military law enforcement background. So it's like, that's always been something of interest for me. Mm-hmm. And just going to school, just learning as much as I can. And then especially being in high school, I took up law study classes because, sometimes when you have high school, you're able to do like extra credit and stuff like that, so you can graduate early. It also looks good depending on what position you're looking for in college that you're trying to get into as well. So that's basically what brought me through as far as striving to move forward with as far as law enforcement goes. Now, once I went to college, and I went ahead and got my law degree. But before I got my law degree, I guess you would say my minor was accounting, and I did also travel and tourism. So I was kind of what you call a busy bee.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like what you call a busy bee. So the thing about that was, it's like, I love to just increase my knowledge. It's like, I never stop. And being of color, you never can stop. Because your knowledge is tested every day. Sure. I don't care what you know. You can say, hey, this is on paper, but they're going to make you prove that this is that you know this. So it's pretty much not what you would call a slap on the back. We're not privileged. So you earn your keep no matter what. Dealing with that, I went ahead, I did law school. When I went through law school, the first thing that I started doing was corrections. And I did corrections with juveniles. Now, juveniles, I would say give you the test of time, because you're dealing with as young as maybe, I would say 6 years old. Wow. That's what I had to deal with. And then they go as high as up to 17 before they become what they would consider direct filed. Now, direct file means that you are charged as an adult.
Okay.
Some of them can be direct filed at 16, 15, depending on what crimes that they did. So a lot of kids are misguided. So you have to think about it. Depending on what their home, their background, they could have had a broken home. They could see where the mother and father may have been fighting all the time, or you could have just one parent that's struggling. They're not home with the child, and they're trying to do what they can, make ends meet, living day by day. So now they got, hey, maybe they're raising themselves, or maybe they're raising a little brother or sister. That's a lot to put on a child.
Yeah.
Because with that, that's like stress. So think about it. So when you're in corrections, not only are you watching them and you're giving them guidance, but at the same time, you're also becoming their teacher. You're becoming their parent, because a lot of people just need love. It's just love, you know? And I mean, and when you have someone that you're not, say they never had that guidance to begin with, to know what's right from wrong, or been taught properly, then it's like, you look at this person and be like, you know what? I can change my life. I can do something. And it's never too late. And that's with anything. I mean, even us as being adults or coming into adulthood, even if you're saying, hey, I'm already 32 or something, and it's like, it's too late. Why should I go to college to finish what it is? You never give up on yourself. Always keep that self-motivation, because with that, you never know how far you can take it. Always let your mind expand you to where you need to be. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do anything. Don't let nobody stop you. You want to keep your options open, because look at it. COVID hit. There's so many people that's out of work right now. There's so many people that lost their house. I mean, there's a lot of people that's not even trying to figure out how they're going to get back and forth. You know, they can't travel, because it's like, when you don't have a job, you can't pay bills. So what are you to do? And then it's a thing that you call family. Some people have it, some people don't. Because family works one of two ways. You have some family that's really tight knit and they're there for you no matter what it is. And you have the other families that's like a stranger in the street that say, hey, I don't even know you, so why bother? So that's why I always tell people, strive for the best, move forward as far as you can. Always challenge yourself. If you don't challenge yourself, you never know how far you can go.
That's true.
Because when you stop or you just give up, in my family, there are no persons that sit down. There's no give up in our family. It's called move forward. You're gonna stay strong. We don't understand that word. We don't understand can't. We don't understand there's nothing that we can do. No, you can do it. It's just up to you. It's your motivation.
With the military background, knowing that it runs so deep, where's the pinpoint? Like, some people are like, oh, my great dad was, or great grandpa was the first. Like, how far back did it start before it trickled and rained down on the rest of the family? Like, who would be the first person, if was the person that got into the military, or a policeman, or any in that field?
Well, the first person would be on my mom's side.
Okay.
And it's not that he got into it by choice. Back then, they had a thing called draft. So what the draft didn't care what family you were in, whether you Caucasian, whether you African American. Guess what? Whoever the firstborn son is, that's who goes. Now, if that's your only child, that's fine. You stay. Of course, they didn't draft women back then.
Yes.
But they would draft the oldest son. So say, for instance, if the oldest son had so much as a problem with their feet, like there's any little thing that's wrong with it, guess what? Then they take the second boy. So my uncle, when they came to him, he was like, you know what? I'm not going to the Army. If I have to go, and it's with my life, I'm going to the Marines. Let me go sign up who I want to go to. So he picked the Marines. Wow. So he was hardcore from ever since. And then it's like, from him, then it goes to my dad. He was law enforcement. My stepfather, actually, should I say, but I don't call him stepdad because I'm with you. That's like my dad.
Yeah. Get it.
My real father, he was in my life too. He worked for the city of North Miami Beach. So it's like people in my family, they had great jobs. They didn't have like mediocre. Like my mom, she was a person that never gives up. Like she went from working at the hospital to being in retail. She was a manager, from being teacher. She's like, it's things that she was doing. So it's like with her, she never gave up. And it's like we move forward. With my dad, he didn't give up. It's like there is no sorriness in my family. There's no lay down. You're gonna work, you're gonna earn your keep. That's what we do. So when you look at the young generation today, the young generation is like, oh, I can't do this, or they're sitting down. It's not even so much as video games anymore. You don't even see kids out on the street because they're so busy Facebook, Instagram. That's kind of locked. And I mean, there are certain things that they learn on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube. And I'm not saying certain platforms are not good, because of course we do this now to get things out for people to see, to understand. But it's something that you would have to look forward into when it's coming to dealing with those type of social backgrounds, because social background, sometimes that's all a child has. Oof. So imagine having the socialites raise your child. That can go either way. That can be a good thing. Yeah. That could be a bad thing. That's when you have a lot of kids that's murderous that's out there. And you're like, ooh. Like I seen a story. It was probably maybe about 2 years ago. The thing about the story was he was, I want to say 12. And because he got into a little altercation where him and a young boy was having a disagreement, the boy was 9 years old. He stabbed him to death. What do you know about killing? The 12-year-old stabbed the 9-year-old, killed him, and they gave him 30 years. But because he took initiative, was remorseful later on in life, they would send him to juvenile. He got lucky. So I would say he would have to thank God for his stars on that one, because they let him out at age, I think it was 16, 17 years old. He impressed the judge. Now, not all the times that happens. It's so many of our Black youth that are being lost in the system. It's so many Black men that are being lost in the system. So it's like, my thing was, when I went into law enforcement, not only was it dealing with corrections, it's like I wanted to broaden my horizons. Okay, so even though I left from doing that, I did dispatcher. And dispatcher is not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. Now,
I know you got
anybody
stories.
that wants to be a dispatcher, I'm going to tell you to go for it.
Yeah.
But if you can't deal with a person screaming in your ear, telling you my child is drowning, my child is in the pool, I can't swim, what do I do? Now, imagine they put you through what they consider like an academy. Now, that academy can last for about, I want to say maybe 2.5 months. Now, and that's just for dispatch, because, you know, there's an academy for everything. For dispatching, there's an academy for police work. But dispatcher is where it starts. Okay? We're the first one. We are pretty much the first responders to that person, because we're your lifeline. Whatever we hear is what we have to put out to the officers. What people don't realize, if you want to do dispatching, it's a good way to get your foot in the door dealing with police work. The thing about that is, dispatching, it takes great skill in listening. It takes patience. It takes you having to be able to be controlled. Not controlled to the place where you're yelling at the person and making them feel like, oh my God, why did I call you for help? But you have to be able to control the situation, but with ease and calm. So that person say, you know what? This person is trying to help me. Let me take a step back. Let me see what's going on. My first call, the first call that I ever had, it was a grandmother. She was of Jamaican descent. She was out in Miramar. And she had a 12-year-old grandchild. And, you know, kids can be mean. Kids were bullying this child. So when they woke up that next morning, that child was hanging in the back tree of the yard. So it's terrible when your child is reaching out to you and the grandparent is reaching out to the child parents and saying, hey, there's something going on. That's another thing that as parents and as anyone, adults, we do. Sometimes, a person, you can be so used to them crying wolf, but don't always say that that's what's going on. Yeah. Sometimes it takes you to take that next step to listen to that person, because that person could truly be crying out for help. And I mean, you look at things and be like, okay, so what do you do? I always say, give a person a chance. Things will always prevail. Anything that's done in the dark will come to light. Yeah. So with me working in corrections and doing dispatching, my big thing with that was I love helping people. Yeah. So that's one reason why I took law enforcement, because not only when you deal with that, there's a lot of things that people don't know what goes on. And it's like you can give an insight, but you can only give so much of an insight. Right. And you never want to have, I just always wanted to just pretty much encourage and enlighten my people. This is what goes on. Yeah. And you know how you have the older generation that says, don't give the person a reason. That works both ways. because as we see, it's so many things that has happened so far now, like with the George Floyd. Did he give him a reason? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes it's just you're the wrong skin color in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
So whenever is the right time. So it's like I always believe in taking certain things where we could just help others out. That's my goal in anything that I do in life.
That's good. And I remember, well, just when you mentioned with as far as the juvenile, how it starts from like 6 all the way up to 17. And I myself have worked with like, it's like a prevention type shelter. Like we try to prevent them from getting to that point. It was from 10 to 17. So when you said like 6, I was like,
y'all not doing y'all job. Y'all
right,
gotta reach
but I can get it though. I can, right? We can't. Our program is that. Sorry, but I can understand. As far as that. So my thing was, do you feel like with the kids who are super young, like from 6 up until like let's say 12, whatever, do you feel like the system is there's things in place to actually help them from becoming like, okay, now I'm an adult, I'm still on that sim track? Or do you feel like when they go into system or when they go into juvie or whatever, they're gonna deter that? Like, how do you kind of feel like, have you seen where it works? Because our program, we do help some kids, but at the same time, we get reoccurring kids. Like at the shelter, like kids coming back and back and back and back to the point they age out. So do you feel like, obviously it's a very young age, from 6 to, 17 or whatnot. This question once again is, do you feel like that it actually helps them to get away from that system so that when they're an adult, then they don't have to keep on that sim track? But what's your take on that, really?
I'm going to say, good question. Here's my take on that. Again, just like they say with an old fable, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. It's up to that person to want to change. I can reach out to you all day long. I can extend that olive branch, but it's up to that child to take that in. And then it's not only just the child where it lies, it also lies with the person that's sending out the information, because it depends on how you perceive it. So your perception from someone could be in a negative way, and you don't mean for it to come off negative, but the child is like, okay, so are you trying to become my father now, or what's going on, or my mother figure? So again, in any aspect dealing with programs, it really depends on that person, on how they feel, as far as like, are you reaching them? Are you getting through to them? Again, it depends on how you deliver that message. That's a big thing. That's just like when you're in church. If the pastor didn't deliver the message, guess what? There's still people that's lost. So, and then you have some people that you can deliver the message, but
still
again,
can't be received. So it's another two-way street thing. Wow.
But with kids, it's a funny thing. The worst one I ever came across was maybe like an 8-year-old, and he had the mind of a 30-year-old. And there was no change in him.
What? Wow.
So imagine a person that you're talking to that's 8 telling you things that you would hear from a serial killer. And he wasn't joking. So it's like you're dealing with stuff like that. So it's like, oh my God. Now, if you're parents, who does my child go to school with?
Yeah.
That's why they always tell you, be careful who your children are around. Always stay in tune with what your kids are doing.
Yes.
Even if they feel like they're spying. When I was coming up, me and my brothers and sisters, we used to pretty much couldn't stand my dad and my mom. I'm like, wait a minute. So y'all just want to know where we're going at all times? Like, what's going on? Like, no, I don't want to tell you where I'm at. I'm at my friend's house. That's it. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
But when you get older, you learn to appreciate. And then it's like, oh man, so there's so much that's going on out here that I see what my dad was saying. And it's like, I appreciate the way they taught me, because it's like, they didn't teach me to be lazy. They taught me responsibility.
Yeah.
So it's like so many kids now, you look at them, it's like job. It's like you just said something to them in a whole nother lingo. And it's like, yes, you need to work because I'm not going to be here always. There's certain ways that, you try to get across to kids, but it's like, sometimes it's like talking to a brick wall.
And before I get to my question, that was my thing with my dad. My dad was like, I don't really care. Just let me know where you're going. You know, so that was just one of the rules. I had a curfew up to like, I was like 18 really. So, so I was like, whatever. But the question I want to get to is that, okay, so we're agreeing that, yeah, they have these programs in place, but these programs can only work depending on the individual itself. So with great intentions, they have this program to deter, change, whatever the case is. But you did say one area, and I know you said this word before on the mental health part segment we did way back, being trauma sensitive. So being a correctional and then helping these juveniles, love, you said that's another aspect. Like, I'm trying to see from a personal view, do you think they should add, or do they have already, because I don't know, therapists on the scene to work now that we're mental health, advocates here now we can reach deep to, okay, before I get here, I used to mentor kids, and I realized at a certain point, they get 2 to 3 days, 4 hours a week with me. So that's combined 12 hours of a good light, good positive example. But then they get the rest of the week back to their environment.
Right.
I always felt like I can never reach it. As powerful it may be, these moments can come up probably later in their life, but it's not strong enough right now to make changes, because 96 other hours they're seeing this revolving door of negativity. So I'm saying now, with that being the case, now they're in the detention center,
shelter,
the shelter and all this, with love being part of it and having a therapist on the scene. Do you think that can help the program really go to the next level? Or is it like, again, it just depends on the person itself? Because I'm thinking like at 8 to have a mindset of a 30-year-old, like I need a therapist on the scene ASAP. I just need to go, what's in your mind like at that point? So do you think that will help the situation? We can make a larger stride towards greatness? Like, you're chuckling inside.
The reason I'm smiling is because I love you guys. So let me tell you what it is, because I love this challenge. All right. So basically, therapists are always on site.
Really?
But remember, again, it's perception. It's how the message is delivered. You're not only being the counselor, you're being the therapist as well. Look at yourself as a therapist. Now, when you said just now that, it seems like when I say something to kids, it doesn't seem like I'm reaching out. That's what I call exercise the mind. Take the mind approach. If you were talking to the mind of a murderess, what could you do to appeal to that person? Take it to that next level. Think on their ground. Put yourself in their shoes. A lot of times you have to think like the person to get them to understand. And maybe it worked, maybe it doesn't work. But always take a different aspect instead of just going like, okay, I'm just going to talk to you straightforward because this is what I do. I'm a counselor. I know this. I went for this. That doesn't work with everybody. Some people live by book. Some people live by street. So that works the same way. So you could sit here and talk to me all day long till you're blue in the face. Or like my grandmother used to say, till your tongue gets sore in your mouth. But if your delivery to me, I feel is nonsense, guess what I'm gonna do? That's pretty much how that is. Yeah. Or I can sit here and be like, okay, yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do everything that you want me to do. Okay, and the next thing you know, I'm back the same way. And there's so many kids that do that.
Right.
So you have to really take a step back, look deep within yourself, and see how you're gonna appeal to that person. How can you get across to that person?
And real quick on that, I totally agree, because I've reached a state and I understood this point, and this is from a biblical standpoint, like this ain't gonna be my person to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was scripturally written. He like, there's some people you're not gonna reap. Like it's not gonna be on you, bro. Like you could have did all the planting, you could have did all the watering, but then none of that stick. But let's say Ninja Mark come and all he says, Jesus loves you. Oh, I want to get saved. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he showed me already scripture, like sometimes it's not gonna be you. So it got me to like, just at least put the gems in or the seed in and let the future grow it, you know? But I'm hoping they allow it to grow, because sometimes you can snuff out the seed and it will never grow at all, you know?
That's true.
But my other part is, do you feel like if the draft never happened, as much as it was a bad thing, like I feel like it changed the course of your family to create who you are, you know what I mean? Do you think like that would have never been the situation for you? Like, again, like I said, the draft was a negative thing for us, especially. We're going to fight for a country thinking we're going to get freedom. And they're like, hey, no, you get back and be a slave. But you know what I'm saying? So like, but it had your uncle stirred up and then it kind of trickled down the family. Like, what's your mind on that? Like, do you respect it on that aspect? Like what it did for my family and what it changed the course to be? Or will you say y'all was already driven, draft or not? Y'all was going to be who y'all was going to be anyway.
This is what I'm going to say about that. You say you go to save your country and you back to a slave. Who said we were saving our country? It wasn't our country to save. They put us there. And then on top of that, you got to remember, even though my uncle decided to go to where he wanted to go, he was still a slave. Because the stories that he was telling me, you know, that's still slave mentality.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? Because you still serving the man. You're not serving yourself. And you praying to God that I can get back home to see my family members. So whether he went in or not, I was still going to do what I wanted to do because, again, my family is big on certain people in my family. I'm going to say is big on immediate family. And we're big on the mentality of helping people. My grandmother was like what we call a big mother because it's like everybody would come, all the neighborhood kids and stuff like that. So it's like, it was not a person that you didn't grow up with. And it was a time where, you know, hey, if my grandmother neighbor seen me doing something, you know you're in trouble, right? Because they can beat you. Then you go home, you get beat by them. Then when my mom come, I get beat by her. And then when my dad come, I get beat by him. So it's like, you can't do anything. It's like, as soon as you walk out, oh, ain't you such and such kid?
Oh, what's that?
You can't say, oh, no, ma'am, because they know who you are. So it's like, if we could go back to those times, I swear the world would be a better place. Because things were more close-knit. People could help other people, kids would sometimes, and they always say, you can raise a child, but what you've been trying to get through to your child, they may don't want to take it from you.
Yeah.
Gibson can come along and say 1, 2 things. Oh, you know what? Well, my daddy said that, but you know, it.
Yeah, he crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like he appealed, but what you said did not appeal. Sometimes it takes that extra person to help you out. Not saying that you can't be a good parent or not saying you could be a good friend or, you know, a good coworker, whatever the case may be, whatever it is in life that you're doing. I always say teamwork make the dream work. I don't care who the team is. As long as you own my team, we can do this together.
Yeah, I'm with that.
So
100%.
I'm with that.
So, man, that was a lot of stuff you dropped on us. I appreciate it. So we're going to do a little transition because you did do a transition now from corrections, law enforcement, into a whole different ballgame, which I was like, when you told me this, I'm like, how? Sweet. But, you know, you did mention in the beginning that was your minor, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's where you went. So you into, you know, like, I guess traveling and all those different things and cruise lines and all those different things. So take us into what made you make that transition. Obviously, you know, we hear from how you want to help people. Was that, you know, still in the thread line of want to help people, but in this different field? Or was it just completely, let me start something new or a fresh air? I've had this minor, why not use it? You know, what got you to transition from law enforcement or corrections into traveling and, you know, tourism, all that good stuff?
Y'all know I love to smile, right? And the reason I'm smiling is because I'm always a thinker. I think while you're talking.
Yeah.
So this is how I'm going to tie this in. And this is what you call a person that's always on point with things. Not only law enforcement, but in to help people. When you like to help people, traveling takes a place because let me tell you how that works. If I don't travel to different locations, different aspects, how can I tell a person how to be if I don't know your culture? So it's always good to get out there to see. That's what I call broaden your horizons.
Yes, it is.
I can't teach something I don't know.
Sure.
So at least let me experience it.
Yeah.
You know, going to Milan, going to UK, going to Germany. You know what I'm saying? And I got a chance to do a lot of those things because of family that's in the military, but also friends as well. Because I also have friends that was in the military, like, hey, let's go here, let's go to Italy. I'm like, what's that? Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So it's like doing travel and tourism in school, the first place they took us was, of course, Cancun. Then they took us to another place. I want to make sure I say it right. I think it's called Zihuatanejo. So we went there, Guatemala, stuff like that. So it's like certain places we were going just to try to figure out different cultures, to see what's what, to see how people are, to see what they eat, to see how they think, see how they speak. Like, it's different. It's like to see, and it's like a lot of locations you go to, because they speak a different language, they may dress differently, may look differently. Certain areas are just like here.
Wow.
And you'd be surprised because you're like, oh man, that look like back home. And it's like, it's in the islands or it's clear across the side of the world. It's like, it's amazing that you can be in another location. Here it is 9 o'clock at night, but back home it's 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's like, it's amazing just to think about how things are time travel. Just like they got a location that's in Alaska that stays dark 6 months out of the year and light 6 months. Yeah. I'm like, listen, the daylight I can deal with, night for 6 months. I don't know.
I'm opposite.
You would.
Well, that would be the best 6 months sleep.
Because, okay, but think about it.
I'll be irritated trying to go to sleep and that light shining through my eyelid. Like,
but you can't be in hibernation all the time because you gotta still work. You gotta work.
Still do your thing.
And you
I'll be
get
so
tired
zen,
of getting
bro.
up.
Like I'm so cruising. Hey.
Sorry to do this right there, but we'll just say, what about the other 6 months when it's light? So what you gonna be, like the opposite?
I'm cranky. I'm so cranky. I can't sleep.
I'm glad you're in Florida, bro. But go ahead.
That's what they call it, blind. Close the
Close
curtains. That's what you do.
But that's crazy though, that there is somewhere that exists where it's light for 6 months straight and darkness for another 6 months.
Culture wise, would you say like, okay, so my speech teacher in my 2.5, so I think my 3rd year in college, she said, because she lives in Canada, she only comes down to teach. That's the only time. But she said at that time, I sense the animosity. As soon as I get off the plane, it's just this energy of anger and da 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 da. I want to know, do you feel those when you go to other countries? Because when I travel, you don't feel that. It's like, man, what goes like? It's like something else they're focused on. It's not on this aspect, like of division and all that. It's like, what I'm gonna eat. Like, you feel a whole different type of things that they worry about compared to coming back. Like, even on some small, if you drive more north and you come back and that person cut you off, you're like, yup, I'm back in Fort Lauderdale. So, baby. So I want to know, do you feel that through your travels? Like, do you sense that, or do you feel like that carries all over? Like, you see it all over the world? Or
no, I would say this. When I travel and when I did international travels, even if you travel within the 50 states of the United States, certain people, I don't take everything as animosity. I take it as an inquiring mind want to know. Because, like, especially say you leave here and you go to Japan, you have a few maybe, like people that's there. It's quite a few. But it's interesting. A person of color. Yeah. Let me see what it's all about. And if you've never been to China, the first thing you're going to be, they're intrigued. I don't know what it is, but they're intrigued. But I never take that as animosity. It's just people that's wanting to get to know you. Because there's some places that you can go visit, have a better welcome home than you would here. Yeah. In Florida, I don't really get that. Born and raised here, I don't get that. But guess what? I can leave here, go visit my family members in Texas. Even if they don't like your skin color, you would never know it. It's all about business. And it's all about being addressed properly, like the way they were raised. Everything is just totally different. From the food, from how they talk to you. It's like there's no animosity. I mean, you have your choices no matter where you go. You can't change those people. Yeah. But you don't let that one person stop you. True. So I'm a person that, hey, if you look at me a certain way, how you doing? Have a blessed day, even if you don't speak to me. Yeah. Kill them with kindness. That's what you have to do. That's with anybody. Kill them with kindness. Even if you feel like somebody is looking at you a certain way when you get off the plane,
But I know people who just want to kill them and leave the country.
I want to know who you know. Well, you know some interesting.
All right. So with the whole traveling, like, how did you balance? Well, how frequent was the traveling? First of all,
Well, back then, being in college, just about every 2 weeks, every month, whenever I could just say, "Hey, I'm out. I'll be back." And my mom will tell you, it's like they're like, "Where your daughter? Oh, she going somewhere. I don't know. She'll be back." But I always kept up with my mom. I told her where I was going.
yeah,
You know, I always kept in contact, but my family never stopped me. It
Right.
was like, okay, she wants to go out. She wants to inquire about things. Let her go.
yeah.
My dad said, long as she's safe, long as she's careful, she know how to take care of herself. So
Was it group traveling? Because they always say
sometimes,
Okay.
sometimes it's group traveling, but I'm a loner. I'm a person that I can take off and make a friend and don't care who it is.
I'm with
And
that.
I mean, it's just, I'm a person that I can get along with anyone. You know, now if you cross me, that's a different story. You only gonna cross me once. I'm not gonna give you that second chance.
You ain't playing baseball with these people.
No,
I hear
because
you.
they always say when that person show you their true colors, believe them the first time. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change.
Oof. I'm with your logic, but thank God Jesus ain't the same.
right. Yeah. So with the traveling thing, still too, I didn't even know you traveled that much.
Yeah, that's
and even at such a early, younger age, college days, I'm sure up
Mhm.
until now. My thing is, I'm sure you have a list like of a bunch of places you're like, oh my gosh. Like, so what would be like your top 3 places where you'd be like, yeah, these are, even if it's the top 5, you could be up to 5, 3 to 5 places you're like, this is a must go. Like you gotta experience this at least once in your life if you're a traveler.
Okay, so you mean places that I've been that I would tell you guys to
yeah,
go to?
like you were
Yeah,
like,
that you've already
I don't
been.
care if you don't go
And
nowhere.
then-
This gotta be the one.
If you got some other lists too that you want to go to, obviously, you know, you're the traveling expert. So places that you've been top 3 or 5, and then places that you want to go to that you haven't gone yet.
Mhm.
Top 3. So top 3 places you've been that you recommend, and top 3 places that you plan on going because you just want to find out.
Okay. Well, Milan is great because I always say it's like the international when it comes to fashion. Like also when people talk about like Tokyo for fashion, stuff like that, I would say Milan would be like a top place that you should go to. Greece is very nice.
I see.
You would love to want to go there. Believe it or not, a lot of people get mixed views about Germany. But I had a cousin that used to play for one Nürnberg, which was a soccer team.
Oh.
And they're not as bad as you would think when it comes to the black race. It's certain areas, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But imagine drinking a soda that pretty much tastes like Hennessy. 'Cause it was strong. Like it was just literally strong.
A bubbly Hennessy?
So, you know, it's like, just imagine that. But I mean, it's like certain things, as far as their highway goes in Germany, is pretty much like take off. It's like, don't hesitate. When you see your brake, just go for it because that's pretty much it. Like the speed limit is unbelievable on the expressway. So I'm just saying, so if you a person that loves to drive, you know, that's a good thing. So like I say, Greece, Germany, Milan, you know, that would be, I would say my top 3. A lot of people may get scared when they hear Germany. It's like, oh God. But if I had another place that I could send you, of course, always Mexico. Everybody goes to Mexico. It's nice. And that's because if you like,
Not new people.
No.
Mexico. You got.
but I mean, it's like, it's good for especially like the foods. If you're a foodie, I'm a big foodie person.
Oh.
So I like all different type of flavors, culture. I don't like that
Yeah.
bland stuff. I don't like people that don't cook with any type of seasoning because I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But basically, you know, if you go into like seeing like cultures and stuff like that, I would say go there. Top list of where to go, where I want to go. Dubai.
Hey.
Okay. One quick question. What is the intriguing part about Dubai? Dubai don't get me like everybody else. Like, I mean, of course I want to go because I just want to check it off the list, but like, what is it about Dubai like itself?
Dubai to me is a carefree world. My cousin was stationed over there. So Dubai is like the all place if you love water. It's pretty much a city built on water. So right now they're in the process of finishing up like an underwater mall with also houses and apartments, which should be intriguing. And remember,
Atlantis?
inquiring mind, it's always something. Yeah, it's kind of freaky about it. But they already have houses that are like branched out. You would look at it, if you look at it on a map, it's like it's a tree. But those are people that live out there, and it's like in the middle of, like, I think that's the Atlantic. I think it's what it's called over there on that side. But think about it. So it's like Dubai. You can't get caught kissing on the street, because if you kiss on the street, you will go to jail.
Oh, I can't live
So
in
there's
Dubai.
no kissing.
I can't live in
There's
Dubai.
no
I kiss my wife
hands.
everywhere.
So no public affection.
No
you
public-
cannot show no type of
PDA?
affection.
Wait. So no kissing, no what?
No
No
holding
kissing,
hands.
no holding hands, no hugging in public, none of that.
So I can't hold my kids' hand? That's okay, right?
That's a child.
Okay, I'm
okay,
just making
like,
sure.
like-
I thought it was just a whole hand.
No,
thing, but
it's
also
like showing affection.
like,
Yeah,
it's
you
your
can't
girl,
show.
your
Yeah,
guy.
you can't show like no type of affection because
Wow.
that's against the law.
That's tough.
Dang, Kanye West, why are you so heartless?
They have vending machines with actual Rolex watches in it.
Stop.
No
playing.
joke.
I know they breaking into this
My
machine.
cousin is, no, because the police over there,
If you can't even hold hands and get arrested, I'm sure you can't do it. You can't
they're
try
like
to rob
on
a
the
vending
spot,
machine.
so don't play with it.
Oh, so they police game on. Oh my God.
They gotta be open weight.
Okay.
Now, say for instance, if you go there and say, "Oh, I had too much to drink, I can't leave out." I had a good friend that was over there, and she said, "What they do, they send you an Uber, and what their Uber is two guys on a motorcycle, so it's like a moped. So they tag team. They're riding to you. One is going to drive your vehicle to your location.
Oh, and one's gonna ride you.
Yeah, the person that's on the motorcycle is going to follow the person in the vehicle. The person that's driving your vehicle is going to have you in the car.
Wow.
So when you get to your destination, they're going to give you your keys, but you're home safe.
Yeah.
So you never
And
have to
then
worry about having a ticket or
Buddy brings
anything
him
or
back to
getting
his
locked.
moped. Oh
That
my.
part.
Okay.
So that's another good thing
Dubai,
about
I got a little
Dubai.
mixed feelings. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like interesting. And then, like I
That
said,
is
again, they
interesting.
have underwater restaurants, underwater hotels, and just the thing of what seeing a car that's built with platinum. Like where you see a platinum Mercedes, where you see a
Yeah.
platinum Bentley, like
I-
who does that?
Closest I seen was Chrome.
Yeah.
So it's like just things of amazement.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to go to Thailand. That was a place that I always
Yeah.
wanted to visit.
My friends had went. They said they want to go back. They said the plane ride was like the only worst thing for him.
Mhm.
Like, I think it's 14 hours or something like that. Yeah. So I get that part. But
Yeah. And last but not least, Jerusalem.
Hey.
I always want to go where our father walked. It's just always been interesting.
got you. I'm with that.
And
I'm
then,
with that.
branch over to Egypt because, it's just interesting.
I'm
Something I
with
always
it.
want to see, but not now. Thanks to
Real
certain
quick,
people.
If,
I won't say any names.
if you had one island to add on to that, what island would that be?
Ooh,
Mauritius, Africa.
Mauritius,
And I won't even say island because that's the continent, but
Yeah.
Mauritius, Africa, because it's the most beautifulest place that you ever want to visit.
I gotta. Trust me. I'm
Make sure
Googling
you
this.
get all of your shots before you go to Africa.
I heard about that. Yes.
It depends. It's going to be anywhere between 22 to 26, but that's home of
Shots.
that's home of the underwater waterfall.
Underwater waterfall.
But the people there are so great. They're sweethearts.
Mm.
That's a place that I would retire to.
Whoa.
Forget America. I would renounce my citizenship. I'm out.
You God.
Good, I'm over there.
Gee.
When you do
Okay.
your research on it, you'll see why.
Hey, trust me.
We'll be in the talks. All right.
Real quick, what would be yours?
My,
We had one island.
One
Just-
island. If
yeah.
I Haiti, bro. Come on.
Okay.
I gotta rock with the homeland.
I feel you. I'm with it. I'm with it. For
What's
me,
up with
mine's Tahiti.
Tahiti.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah. I've always, before I go, I gotta see Tahiti.
Oh, to see or to add to the list.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said if I could be there and
no,
live
no,
out
no,
whatever.
no. Well, I mean, hers end up being to live out. Yeah.
But for me, I'll probably say Bora.
Okay. I'm with that.
Yeah.
That's
right.
nice.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with that. My thing is, okay, so you transition, which is seem like it's not too much, but it is a transition. What made you say, all right, I'm done with law enforcement? Something like hit your last nerve, or you just wanted a new fresh air, or something in personal life needed more of your time? Like, and I feel like this traveling still takes up time, but somehow you find a way
Two
to balance
things.
it better.
And I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Two
you're good.
things. It gets old when
Okay.
you've done it for a while.
Mm.
And number two, stress. Believe it or not, the stress factor, because you're never sleeping. You're pretty much on clock 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't care if you're dispatcher, police, whatever you decide to do in there, you're on call. And you have to be ready to roll. So
y'all
you can't have a family life really like that. And then sometimes your family don't understand, or if you have a boyfriend or a husband, it's like, you're always working. Do you love me? Do you care? It's not about that. I gave a commitment. That's just like being a president. Once I take that oath, I'm theirs. That's just like going to the military. I belong to them. I don't belong to you, even though we're married or even though we go together or we live together.
Yeah. Wow.
A lot of people don't get that. That's why a lot of times you see a law enforcement, they marry each other. You never see them marry an average person
they would know,
because they understand.
You gotta go.
I did not know that.
That's the same thing with firemen. Same thing. Some
So
women
they have
don't get it.
off days, but it's not really off because you gotta get ready to.
You can be called in.
You can be called in at any time. We could be all working on the same shift together, but okay, he's out because he's not feeling good. You decide, hey, I'm just not coming to work. Guess what? I'm up. And the thing about it is, if you answer that call, you gotta come. Unless you answer the call and be like, oh, well, I just had a couple of drinks, then they'll be like, okay, they'll go to the next person. But if you pick up and then they're expecting you to come and you don't show up,
Right. I guess I'm about to have a couple of drinks every time.
It's like when I get off work.
Wow, I did not know that.
All right. Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. So obviously one of the things you mentioned when you was answering the question just now is like family.
You can
having time for family and all that good stuff. Which how we got to meet you in the first place is through, one of our boys, Lou. And just in talking to you too, obviously off camera and everything like that, I see how much you care for your family, so I can understand.
Even on camera, you can see that.
Yeah, you can see it on camera too. Yeah. But obviously it's not. I'm just saying conversation. Maybe the audience didn't hear. Yeah. But we definitely heard that from you, and also too, we know that it's like understanding. Also, another conversation we had off camera too, and for our audience, those who are watching our live too, you did see her. Tam was on our live not too long ago, pertaining to relationship. Yep. And even me talking to her, like I always hear wisdom, like in her, like whenever she's talking about that topic of relationship. So, we're gonna kind of just transition into it. And the last thing we talked about on the live was just a couple that was kind of going through it, struggling or whatever. And just my question to you is to just roll into this is, obviously, there's in relationship we understand it takes work, like from both people, right? It's not easy, whatever, but it is something that I feel like being that I'm married, no matter how hard it is, it's worth it. It's worth it. So my question to you is, what do you say is some of the reasons why what you see or red flags you basically in a relationship that may cause someone to,
call it quits?
Yeah, call it quits basically. Like, or not thinking it's gonna be worth it. What are some things I guess you could say once you start spotting these things in a relationship? You might want to, look into those or actually attack those before they get to the point where you be like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'd rather do something else. Because the thing about it is, even though you call it quits, it's like, you're never going to be in another relationship because if you didn't deal with it with this one,
it might,
are you completely out of it? Yeah. Will it come back up again in another relationship? So just to bring it back to you, what are some of the red flags that you would say if you spot these things in certain relationships, you might want to just deal with this right here and there, rather than calling it quits?
Not so much. I want to use address it.
Address.
Address. We ain't preaching toleration.
Address it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, from that night, basically, what I would say, again, relationships, it has to do with communication. And you say, every time you talk to me, it's like knowledge. That's because I hung out with a lot of older people. I believe in listening to the older crowd because the older crowd have been there, done that. And there's a lot of things that they can teach you. I say red flags. People that just can't be truthful with themselves. I mean, I don't want you, and this is speaking whether you the man in the relationship or you the woman in the relationship. I don't want you giving me what you think I want. I don't want you telling me what you think I want to hear. I'm the type of person, just keep it, like I told you guys that night, 100 with me, I'm going to keep it 100 with you.
Yeah.
If you feel like there's a point that you need to play a game, we don't need to do that. We're too old for this.
I'm with that.
Because it's like relationships are pretty much, I would say, it's again, when you're dealing with communication brings about trust, because that means I can talk to you about anything, no matter how bad it is or how bad it may seem. I mean, God forbid if somebody happened to cheat on a person. All right. Of course, nobody ever wants to hear that.
Yeah.
But still, again, you're telling that person, hey, I did this. I messed up. You know, if they can't live with it, of course you move on. But again, not even just bringing that up because we don't want nobody cheating on nobody.
No, of course. I got you.
But just like when you're dealing with relationships, communications is a big thing. If it's so much as, I didn't like the way you put the toilet paper on, you know, I mean, it's like smaller things like that.
Are you over or are you under?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm not able to just talk to you about something so as simple as that, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Because again, communication brings trust.
Yeah.
Love comes from the trust.
Yeah.
And if you don't have either one of those things, anybody can spew out, oh, hey, I love you. Do you mean it? Show me how you love me. It's not about monetary values.
Yeah.
A lot of that has to do with emotions too as well. But what are we doing on a day-to-day basis? How do I see myself in you? If I fall, are you going to be there to pick me up?
Yeah.
You know, red flags are, again, a person that shuts down, can't ever talk to you about anything. Red flags are a person that just pick a fight, no matter what it is. I'm just gonna start. I wake up on the wrong side of the bed every day. It's a problem.
That's a chihuahua.
You know? Red flags are another thing where it's like, if you share a relationship or you're married, every time you turn around, where's my money? What's going on? We had this for this bill. What's happening? And then that's where the lies and the deceit come in. Oh, you know, I forgot to pay something last week. And, you know, I was going to do this and I need to do that. But at the same time, I'm looking at debit cards coming out. And your story's not adding up to those debit cards.
Yeah.
So it's like, think about things that you're doing inside your relationship. If you want that person to keep you on one accord to where it's like, hey, I'm telling you my truth, I expect you to tell my truth, then that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, by sitting there just saying, you know what, we're just going to let things be passive. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to just let it flow over. My grandfather would have your head, bless the dead, because you never go to bed angry and you never go to bed with things unsaid. And I have to practice what I preach too, because sometimes I still do that.
Yeah.
You know? And and it's like we tend to forget at times, but sometimes we let the littlest things get in the way of ourselves. And the reason why my grandfather was so adamant about that statement and what I love about it is because you never go to bed angry. You never go to bed with not telling the person you love them, because that could be the last time.
Yeah. And you don't want that to be the last.
Never wake up and the last thing I said to you was, I can't stand you. Or, you know, I wish you would leave, or I don't want to be here anymore. You know, I'm like, it's like certain things. And you have some people that take it as far as like, I wish you was dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's certain things. Like you heard us speak that night when I said, me and my baby, we know how to push each other buttons.
Yeah.
That's a real tricky thing, because be careful of that button you push, because sometimes that button you push may not retract. So the thing with that is, how much can you take on your partner? How much can you take from your partner? Remember, your partner still has feelings. Your partner still has a heart. So if you're feeling like you're coming across and thinking, hey, I just said something to you that just got you really good, but at the same time, you're cutting that person deep. All the while in the back of their mind, they probably be like, you know what, this person don't care nothing about me. Why am I here? Let me go find somebody that do love me. Let me go find somebody that appreciate what I do. Let me go find somebody that's going to show me the same thing that I've given them.
Yeah.
We all can learn from each other. Like I said, we're still like in any relationships, all people are a work in progress.
Yeah.
Like you heard my baby Lou speak. He said, hey, everything is not all peachy. That's true. Everything is not all peachy, but we have to learn to work together. We have to learn to work through it. We have to learn to get over those obstacles together. That's why I made the statement that night, hey, whether you're married or not, nobody should break that bond up.
Yeah.
If that's a bond that you're bringing at home, wait till y'all can sit down and talk about it. Maybe not happen that day. Maybe it didn't happen that night. It may happen a couple of days later, but it's still something that can be said.
Yeah.
Don't let it go unsaid.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can do. Because now you lead that person to a mind to where it's like, what did really happen? What's going on here? You know, it's like a mind of wonder. You never want a person to have assumptions. Assumptions get you caught up every time. Never assume anything. Always understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't understand it, ask.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, I know you said this, but did you mean it this way? Or do you mean it that way?
Mm-hmm.
Some people may get mad and be like, oh, aren't you listening? Aren't you paying attention? It's not that. I just want clarity because I don't want to take something you said the wrong way.
Yeah.
Now, when my perception comes off to you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to feel no type of way or be upset because I'm just only going to respond the way you gave me that response.
True.
Your reaction. Every response has a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Every reaction has a chain reaction,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what it is and what coming out, you know, at the time. So I always say, you know, it's just communication is a big thing.
Now, I want to go here. Career and now relationship. Help women in that position. What advice would you give them if they're in a career, not as law enforcement, but somewhere similar where, like you said, they couldn't have time for a family or a relationship? How would you help that woman or a woman who does have a relationship and her career takes 90% of her time? What way would you help her either find a way to balance it, or what encouragement and advice would you tell her to evaluate herself and be like, if this is such and such, do this, you know, in a kind of sense, like, you know, for me, like I had a job that paid me well, but man, I almost got divorced in my first year because it took so much. I literally had my laptop in the middle of dinner because I had to do a contract or whatever. And I had to cut the job off for the sake of my marriage. And now we're going on 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So like, thank you.
Chose wise.
Yeah, right. So like, what kind of advice would you give that woman who's probably in that position right now at this moment?
Okay. So this is what I'm going to say. And not even saying chose wisely, because, you know, I'm going to get to that, people that are looking. Okay. So basically, when I left law enforcement right now, what I do is logistics coordinator. Now, logistics coordinator for a travel company is a person that puts together plans. So I put together a lot of things and I send them out for people to do. Now, anything in life, relationship, job, is called balance. So you have to learn how to balance certain things. Don't get me wrong. We all get overwhelmed. Yeah. Now, my baby, not trying to say anything bad, hun, he has 3 beautiful kids. His kids are my kids. Even though I didn't have them, they're still mine.
Yep.
I take care of them like they're my own. Love them to death.
I'm with that.
Now, again, it comes a time where it's like, oh my God, we're going crazy. And it's not. There's nothing wrong with the kids. The kids are fine. It's just sometimes you need a mental break as in, oh my God, like I got work. I got to make sure the kids are good. I got to make sure he is good. All that takes balance. Sometimes you do have to take a step back and say, woosah. Because where a lot of people mess up, they'll start cursing at kids. I don't believe in that. They'll start cursing at their mate. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you bringing issues that's no need. Just sit back and think. And I'm going to tell you something. Kids are lovely, bright, very bright. They know when something is bothering you. Yeah. They sense it. You don't even have to say it. It's like, is there something bothering you? And that's how the kids are. It's like, Mommy, are you okay? Is there something bothering you? I'm like,
quick to approach it. Yeah.
Good. And it's sometimes I have to say, you know what? Because I can't tell the kids something that they see already. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Mommy would be fine. But it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with Daddy.
Yeah.
I'm just stressed with work right now. Is there anything we can help you with? I wish you could, baby. I wish you could take this laptop and do what you got to do. But it's a lot of times I have to pop that laptop open at night. Yeah. And they're there looking at me doing work. And it's like, you still at work? Yeah. Indirectly. Because it's like I have to get some things done. But at the same time, I'll make sure you guys are good. Yeah. You know? And it's like, it's dealing with balance. And it's like, sometimes when you said you had to put your laptop down because it was saving your marriage, you know what you did? You got your wife to understand what's going on. Honey, it's not that I don't have time for you, but this is how we eat.
Yeah.
I got to make this happen for us to get where we need to be or where we're trying to go. Sometimes it takes that understanding to just take a break for yourself, because if we die, that job is still going to be there.
That's
Somebody else
so
has to
true.
fill it.
Mhm.
So it's like, what are you doing? Like, just give me one moment. Just give me 30 minutes. Like, even Lou, like, he works hard. And it's like, some days I know I could be just like the child. Baby, I haven't seen you. He be like, honey, just give me 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just 30 minutes, just to myself. No, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I act just like a big kid. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like 30 minutes, I haven't seen you all day. And it's like, I was on the phone with you. Like, are you serious? Like, especially when his days off. And it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
Because he does need that time. Because women that have a man, you let the man be the head of household, because that's what we're supposed to be. And we're supposed to be that backbone. And some people take that like, oh my God, she's saying she's taking a step back. Oh, she's letting this man tell her what to do. He's letting this man, control it. It's not that.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Yeah.
We're here to help.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. We're here to help. Yes, we walk side by side. He doesn't put me behind him and I don't put him behind me.
Mm-hmm.
We walk hand in hand.
Yeah.
But when he's full go, because he's taking care of everything, I can't pick up the slack.
Yeah. You catching the cracks. Where
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to make it mend. A family cannot mend if they're not blended together.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure everybody is good, no matter what you do.
And as much as, and I'm sorry, I know you got one, Maestro, but I just wanted to say this for the women. As much as like a woman who respects that a man is ahead and all that, but trust me, a man knows what the woman is doing. We understand you are the glue that holds it down. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
This family, and especially speaking for my family, would not have thrived this far without my wife. So I know that part. And that actually encouraged me to work 10 times harder to make sure like she steps on gold every time she walks out. So it's weird. I get it. You want our time, but you guys are encouraging us to go to the next level to make sure you never put your foot in the water, So I just want to give a shout out to those women who's holding it down for sure.
Always. Shout out to the women, and also shout out to you men, because the men don't get the appreciation that they deserve, because there are a lot of good men that's out there and that take care of their kids that don't get the appreciation, even if they don't have kids. There are men that are good. And the thing about that too, when you were saying that it's, you want to take it to how the women should perceive certain things. It's not that, let me see the best way I could say this. It's not that it's not perceived as far as like letting a man, handle everything as far as what's going on in jail. And I'm going to laugh and say this. Also, y'all do it because y'all don't be wanting to hear our mouth either, because, I'm just going to keep it real. Because sometimes we like, you know what? No, drive this way. No, get this. No, do that. And the first thing my baby will say, I have to use him. He'll be like, babe, it was something so simple. And I'm going to say it. And yes, honey, I'm using it. The eggs. I was like, baby, just put them there. He was like, no, let's just put them this way. I'm like, no, I don't want to put it. Just set it this way. And it was just like simple as eggs. And then he waited good till we got all the way to the car. And the first thing came out of his mouth was, baby, you know why men don't go shopping with me? So it's like, I get it. And I want to just jump on that. And I'm like, you know what? Let him have that because he's right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we can be a little bossy and we may get beside ourselves. But, it's not nothing in harm. It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, we just don't want you to forget anything, because a lot of times, I'm not going to say men are on goal.
Yeah.
Sometimes y'all forget your head. You do. We be like, hey, honey, you got your keys, you got your wallet, you got your phone. Sometimes it's just checkpoints.
Yeah. I love it. Right before I get to the film.
All right. Shoot, man. I really wish that we could really go deep into the relationship part. But the great thing about Speak On It is we go live.
Yeah.
Like 4 times in the week.
Yeah.
And there's one where we all go together on Tuesday. So if you have not been catching us on Tuesday, so we going to, at 7, Tuesdays at 7, we gonna be live. So Tam was, my bad, Tuesdays at 9.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Tuesdays at 9. So we are gonna be on this Tuesday. If you want to catch us, hopefully we get Tam on with us, and she could probably expound even more on this relationship topic, because it's making waves and it's needed.
Yeah.
It's needed. So we are going to our last segment.
Yeah.
You know, a segment where we go crazy. We ask these questions. She know what time it is. It's her time to shine. You feel me? So she had a shot before, helping Lou out and all that good stuff. Now she's in the
I'm on the hot seat.
Yes. Hot seat. Question times, y'all.
Yeah.
Question time. So I'm actually going to create a different live. I'm going to end this live and start a new live just for the questions so we can have it separate.
Okay.
Because we're going to take this one down, you know, being that it's an episode.
Yeah.
But we got the questions from Clutch himself.
Yes, sir.
You know we don't know what them questions are.
Nope.
I sure don't know because my phone's right here.
Yeah.
But you get to pick. You get to pick one of the hosts that's on right here to challenge. And, you know, whoever you challenge, the other person asks the questions. 5 questions. You say your name as your buzzer, basically.
Yeah.
You say, hey, Tam, bless Maestro or Blessed. And then that's our cue if we're the ones that's going. We'll give our answer. If we're correct, boom. If we're not correct, we keep trying. 3 tries.
Yep.
We're gonna probably do 1 or 2 clues, you know, even though Blessed don't even feel the clues like that, but it is what it is. And then we keep it rolling like that.
Yeah.
So, man, expectations are huge. I'm just letting y'all know because you know we expect great things out of this one right here. This one's one for the. I'm pretty sure that's probably why Ninja Mark probably not on the episode. Ninja his way out of this one. He's behind the scenes today. You know. He's
now I know the route.
I get it. I get it. But yeah, so go ahead and pick which of the hosts you want to challenge.
Okay.
Yes. Let's go. All right. There go. See, I'm getting the questions right now as we speak. First time seeing challenge. All right. Cool. So y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We gonna keep it rolling like this. So let me just get this live started. Real quick. Oh, let me get up out of there. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. So question number 1.
Second set.
The second set. Okay, all right, bet. Question number 1. This is our question segment for the live. Y'all know what time it is over here. All right, she ready, bro.
Yeah, I see it. She up to
I
the
don't even know
mic.
if it's gonna be right.
Let's go.
Hey.
Question number 1. All right. How many terms did Benjamin Franklin serve as a president? 1 or 2? How many terms did Benjamin Franklin serve as a president? 1 or 2?
Benjamin Franklin?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't serve.
Correct. Ben was never a president.
Yeah.
All right. I think outside the box, you know.
Shout out to Oreo and Lakes.
Even that.
He remembered.
History.
Round number 2. This was quick. Round 2. These are the question rounds, y'all, on the live. These are the question lives. We asked the questions to our guests, Tam, and also Blessed was challenged as the host, so I get to ask the questions. Question number 2. You have 2 coins that add up to 30 cents, and one of them is not a quarter. Which 2 coins are they? You have 2 coins that add up to 30 cents, and one of them is not a quarter. Which 2 coins are they?
Oh, y'all good. Hold on, let me think. 2 coins that add up to 30 cents. One is
Blessed.
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
A nickel.
You said
2 coins?
Because I feel like it's a trick question. Like, one of them is not a quarter, so tell me the other one.
It's 2 coins that adds up to 30.
Yeah, it's still a quarter and a nickel, but the other one, is it like that?
You correct.
I knew it.
Wow.
I figured.
Yes. 2 coins. One is a quarter, one is a nickel. So
sorry,
if one
I'm
is not the
thinking
quarter, what's the other coin?
Yeah, I'm thinking too deep. Okay, I'll let you get that.
Yeah, he's like
too
ready
deep right now.
Yeah, don't go too deep. He's ready.
But that's me. I'm a deep thinker. So
You are. This is not a good gift for the deep thinker.
Oh yeah,
It's not.
It is not, because you're gonna overthink it.
Yeah.
You just need to not think really. It is hard. All right, bet. 3rd round. Last 4 letters of the alphabet.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Last 4 letters of the alphabet?
Yeah.
WXYZ.
Correct. All right.
I was so shocked it was that easy. Like,
hey man, she stopped overthinking you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I asked the question straight up.
Cause I'm like, I know the answer, but really,
you better say the answer.
All right.
All right. Round number 4. What state did Boston Tea Party take place in? What state did the Boston?
Massachusetts.
Correct. Question number 5. We got a tie. Come on, somebody.
I knew it.
She woke up.
No, I just stopped overthinking.
Yeah, she thought she's just shooting them out.
I knew that was
First thing that comes to my mind. I'm shooting it.
Nah.
It's a tie, y'all.
Yeah, this is the way you got to make it exciting.
This is
WrestleMania right here.
Yes, this is the Super Bowl.
I wish I could cheat.
This is the Super Bowl. This is WrestleMania. This is the Olympics.
Creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme. We about to break this tie. It has to be broken. So, how many sides does a circle have?
Bless it. None.
Wrong. How many sides does a circle have?
Bless it. 2.
Correct.
I had to
Inside, outside.
I
thought she was gonna catch you.
What's so funny? Because we teach my daughter no circle has no sides.
No, that
so I'm
threw me off.
like,
I had to
yeah, so like go in and out. I'm like, oh, that was good.
That was good. Off rip, I was like,
I'm not gonna lie. These questions was the easiest ones though.
They were, but they weren't.
Yeah.
If you were overthinking it, they were. But they were pretty straightforward.
No, yeah. The last 4 letters, I'm like,
it was too straightforward.
It was so easy. I'm like, really? Like,
there's no way. He's like, it's gotta be a trick.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't.
WXYZ. Yes. Great job, Tim. You killed it. You brought the pressure back.
Yeah.
Because it looked like Blessed was gonna run away.
Even the Boston one, I was like, I know it's Boston, but is it really that easy?
Yeah.
Like, it's state is it?
Yeah.
I know.
Massachusetts.
But nah, that last one, I'm sitting up here like, circle don't have a side.
Right, you got stuck on it.
Yeah,
like, what is he talking about?
Like, circles don't have sides. I'm like, circle, no sides.
I'm literally like, yeah, that's what we teach our daughter. Like, how many sides do a circle have?
None.
So when you like, nope, I was like, 2.
Yep. great. Another great segment of the games. All right. These questions, you never know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You got to stop thinking too much.
Yeah.
As you see in the first half of it, and then Tim got on her game. It was like, oh shoot, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I did better than you, baby.
Oh!
That was for you, Lou.
Shots fired. Lou got killed almost. He had to call for help. Baby, help me, please. Don't take my chair. But it's all the fun, you know. Obviously, man, we appreciate you for coming on. It was a dope episode. Yeah. A lot of like gems. Like, a lot of gems.
I know I want to live in Germany. Yeah.
What?
Why? Because of the driving?
Yes.
Yeah, he wants to. Oh, he has a story. He'll tell this one day.
Yeah.
He'll tell it one day. He'll tell you why he wants to live in Germany one day. Maybe
remember this episode, people.
Yeah. You know. All right, but this is a wrap for the episode, man. Yeah. We appreciate you again. Yes. You know where to check us out at. We are on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts.
We're still working on
everywhere.
Pandora.
Anchor, man. We're still working on
Pandora.
Yes, they're still tripping. Pandora, come on now. And TikTok, man, we got a TikTok, it's building up, man. Yeah. And also we pushing the IG, man. If you see this, share it with a friend. Push us. We appreciate the love. We'll catch you guys next time, man, on Speak on It Podcast. Yo, we out.
Yo. Let's speak on it. Let's speak on this. Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Throw me a topic. Let's speak on this. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't meme on this. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Let's speak on it. Speak on it. You thought we were done? Throw me a topic, let's speak on it. Say that again, let's lean on it. That's